And here we are. Welcome back, everyone. This is the 30th episode of Wrestle Chat Wednesday in this year. Again, we went on the holidays, took a little break, came back. Last week was more of a refresher. Called that episode 29.5. Hopefully, Matt gets to join us today. If not, he'll probably be back next week. We are just getting right back into wrestling, especially that after SummerSlam. Again, almost like a month break. Next pay-per-view came out. Before that, Eric of EMFC.
Derek of the EMFC extended channel.
Welcome back. We're so back.
We're here.
We're
We're
here.
here. We're here. I feel rusty. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. All right. I remember we did start some new segments when you got back that 1 week. We might as well start it because a lot has happened this week. Again, this was another international pay-per-view. It happened on Saturday of last week. It was in Germany, in Berlin. And let me play the segment. All right, welcome to This Week in Wrestling. We're reviewing everything. Pay-per-view. What did you think, first of all?
I liked it. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. It wasn't like anything major or incredible or anything like that, but it was a really good pay-per-view. I'm I like the shorter format that they've been doing, like, not trying to like overload the match cards and everything like that. So I think there were 6 matches for this pay-per-view, and for the last like basically this whole international run that we've been seeing, it's been roughly like five to 6 matches that they've been doing, and just like, good stuff kind of thing, right? And also kind of like loading up the go home shows that are in the country too, kind of giving it more of like a pay-per-view vibe in a way. um but I liked Bash in Berlin. I was a huge fan of the main event, the Gunther versus Randy. I thought they did incredible. I feel like some people had even said that like this might have been like probably one of Randy's like best matches in his whole career. Um, and as far as it goes in regards to like since he's been back, like I just feel like this was just a really solid match from like bell to bell. Um, I was also very impressed with the Punk and McIntyre strap match, just because like I feel like the strap match concept is kind of dumb, and like, but like I thought they did a really good job in putting together like a really good match. Punk honestly looks great still, and him and Drew are just able to just kind of like kill it.
Tell Matt that.
Um, say that again?
I said tell Matt that. Because he's
Well,
his favorite hater, of course,
his
besides
favorite
Drew.
hater, until he sees like a good segment, he's just like, oh my god, I have his t-shirt, I have his t-shirt. But overall, I enjoyed it. What did you think of it?
So I did watch it again because I came back before my parents came back from Colombia. So I come back tomorrow. I've been taking care of a lot of the house, a lot of the responsibilities, taking care of my daughter, aka my dog, and doing a lot of cooking around. Instead of buying food, I decided to go 2 weeks just cook, and I'm a chef now. So it's been a unique time, but because of this, I don't know. I was so busy, so tired that when I was watching the wrestling pay per view, it's more like I had it in the background. I wasn't fully focused on it during that time. I was
Mm-hmm.
working and focusing on other things. But I did see the results. I did see the finishes for every single one of them. Um, the pay per view that we went to in Toronto was not the best because we counted that as an international one because it is an international one. SummerSlam was pretty good, but again, it was a lot longer. It makes sense. I felt like it peaked when it came to story wise in every single story. This one's always like the backlash where it's like it's the leftovers of everything. I guess starting new feuds, continuing old ones. For instance, it was Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. That was the first match of the night. It was just a good old AEW slobber knocker where they throw two randoms together and they say, "Here, fight." I understand that he's defended Cody Rhodes the entire Bloodline run, and it's like he owed him one kind of thing. but he hasn't won any feud or won any matches in a while, so it's kind of weird to see him in a main event spot. And the WWE Championship went from main event to the first match of the night, which is not always bad because again, it's a put together match. But that's what summarizes for me in my mind the pay per view. I didn't focus on it. I didn't really care. I already knew Cody Rhodes was gonna win. There was no point of it. I saw the ending and I liked the ending where it was like Ken Owens is like, "Oh, should I do my heelish things that I usually do?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna be nice and kind to him." And then he pretty much just ruins it because then Cody Rhodes finishes him off. So who knows if he turns heel later or not? But yeah, it was just what we expected. Second match, um, again Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair fighting. What are they called? They have a specific name. I know it's
Um,
here. It's not
um,
Fire and Desire. It's I just passed it. It's right here. The Unholy Union is what they call themselves.
right, right.
They won the championships in Scotland, and everyone said you only did it because they were in Scotland. And then Triple H's like, no, 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 they deserved it. I swear they deserved it. Well, they just dropped the titles. All right, they re-dropped the titles to Bianca and Jade Cargill. Again, we posted our not our results, our predictions on our social medias last week, and I believe I said that they were gonna win, not Jade Cargill. The other team was gonna win. They did not. Matt was right. Some people commented on it and they said that this is when they separate. This is when they blow it up or whatever. But I said no. It's probably gonna happen sometime in Royal Rumble if they are gonna split up. I mentioned it in one of these podcasts earlier, and it looks like that's what they're gonna do. So they regained the titles. They're best friends again, and I think that was the only one that I was kind of shocked in the night. What was the third one? CM Punk.
Yeah, I think it was Punk and it was Punk and Drew in the strap match.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen episode 29.5 last week, but me and Matt discussed how, thank God, finally they're putting more stipulation matches into it. So last week, Monday Night Raw, they big Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman match ended up in DQ. They went backstage, and it wasn't only a backstage brawl; it was a parking lot brawl where they smashed each other through cars. It was amazing. It was beautiful. They're adding more stipulations. This time it was a strap match. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I was actually looking forward to the match. I was very excited to the match, and I did watch the majority of it. Again, probably when my family comes back, they're gonna rewatch the pay per views they missed, so I'll watch it and maybe give my 2 cents again afterwards. But from what I saw, it's what me and Matt discussed last week. Sorry, where we said that this is the only way, realistically, that CM Punk would be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is a freaking unit, 6'5", 300 pounds of muscle, Scottish muscle, and CM Punk is an old washed man. If you want to be realistic, so if you want realism when it comes to it, a stipulation match where you just have to touch all four corners was the only way it was going to happen. CM Punk got his moment. We also said that it was going to be the 50-50 because, of course, CM Punk can't be the weakling he can't lose via the Hulk Hogan strategy where he has to win at least one of the matches and go over. So it's what was expected in all honesty. And what was the second last match?
Uh, Rhea Ripley and Damien versus Dom and Liv Morgan.
Okay. So the Terror
Uh,
Twins versus the Cheating Lovers.
yes.
What did you think?
Um, it was fun. It was a fun little match. Honestly, like I wasn't expecting too much from that match, but it honestly got pretty chaotic, and I didn't mind it. I liked the little callback with Rhea Ripley, and I was kind of hoping that they would, where she kind of had Dom in the corner and like did like the triangle like off the corner, kind of like going back to like when before he first joined Judgment Day, she did the same thing
When
to
he
him, kind
first
of thing. So
became when he fell in love, I remember.
yeah, yeah. So like, I like that little callback that they did there. But for me, like, I enjoyed the match just because like the crowd was into it. Um, Otherwise, I would say, I mean, predictable result. Like, we know that this is going to lead more into, like, the whole Judgment Day stuff. But, like, I did like a lot of the sort of, like, near falls and, like, the kind of twisted turns that they kind of brought into the match. The Judgment Day involvement and all that. Uh,
Yeah, they involved more than once, both when Damien was in and Rio was in.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, overall, I thought it was a pretty decent match. Nothing, like, for me, that match wasn't, like, it wasn't anything crazy in my mind, but it was still a fun match.
Mm.
So I really enjoyed it.
Honestly, I was really into the whole rivalry. A lot of people were for months or whatever. It's probably one of
Hmm.
the hottest, if not the hottest, rivalry going on in WWE, especially where the betrayals and the cheating and whatever, right? Uh, they're removing them from their team that they've been together for years, right? So
Mm.
that being said, I went on holidays, and when I came back, I didn't give two shits anymore. So I don't know if that was just me personally, but again, as you said, it was kind of predictable. I do like they tried to tease the twists and turns happening, but they made Damien and Rhea super powerful, and they're strong, powerful people. Damien was just the world heavyweight champion, so they had to book him strong. So like Dominic is booked strong anyways. I expected more from Liv Morgan as being the women's world heavyweight champion. Sorry, world champion, but
Mm.
I don't know. It is Rhea Ripley, and again realism, but at least like make the women's champion a little bit more stronger. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I was angry. Continue, sorry.
Oop. No, I think I've seen a lot of feedback online about how the Judgment Day themselves have looked weaker since Damien and Rhea like left the group, but I would agree with that. Like, I definitely have been looking for a lot more uh I would say a lot more dominance from their side, especially with like the months of build of Liv Morgan joining the group and Finn Balor kind of taking over. But they've kind of just been taking L after L ever since like those two left. And I understand the idea of, Damien and Rhea Ripley really being like the cornerstones of that group in a sense, but like I want to see more of Judgment Day just like running the show, especially with Finn Balor like now being the leader. Like, I want to see Finn Balor lead in a way where it's like I can take this group more seriously.
Yeah, it's like Judgment Day Team B, Squad B.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
bums are in there. I don't know. As we said, the whole point of Judgment Day was to bring and elevate all these characters. Damian Priest is believable. Rhea Ripley is believable. Dominic is the number one heel, and Liv Morgan was already something big before she joined. Finn still is lacking that it factor that he used to have, especially when he was a face before he joined Judgment Day. Like, imagine
Mhm.
when he returned and they had the open crowd and he faced Roman Reigns and he used the demon. Like, people were into him both face or heel wise. He was great when he returned from NXT, right?
Mhm.
But he's lost that touch ever since he joined Judgment Day. He was great as a tag team with Damien, but then afterwards he got lost in the shuffle, became second fiddle. That's the point of his storyline, but I don't see him being Damien right now. They need to be winning more matches. JD McFunko Pop is nothing. He's probably going to just be released in a couple years, anyways. Same thing with Carlito. So, not a believable group. Now I'm not interested in the rivalry, especially if they lost so easily. So,
Mhm.
unless, Finn, like, I don't know, like runs over Damian Priest in like a parking lot or something. Like, I don't know. It has to get real personal for me to actually care now.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree with that.
And that was it for that. And moving forward, it is the World's Heavyweight Championship, and it's Gunther versus Randy Orton. The main event we expected because pretty much Gunther, it's his home. It's his home. He's literally like an hour away from his actual like birthplace. He wrestled in Germany. He's like a wrestling god to them. What did you think? Oh, you already said about that. Sorry, you did.
Mm.
You said that was your favorite match of the night.
Yeah, yeah.
He says
I really
Randy's
enjoyed that
best
match.
match.
That's what
Um,
people have said. I thought it was a really good match. I think it was probably one of his best outings since he's been back.
mm,
His best match, I've watched Randy for like 20 plus years. This guy has a lot of bangers. Like, him versus Undertaker is still probably one of my favorite like Randy Orton matches at WrestleMania 21. That match was like incredible. But like I did enjoy that match a lot. I feel like Randy was a really good first test for Gunther, and even like Gunther kind of explaining it on Monday Night Raw how he justified that like he had to poke the bear to try to see if he could get the best version of Randy, so that like him beating him would have more credibility
Mm-hmm.
for his title reign. I just like honestly for me like everything that Gunther does just is better. So like in a way where like Randy's matches feel more linear and sometimes can be a little bit more like of a background match type of thing. Like that match I was tuned into just because I love seeing how Gunther is able to sort of like push the pace and kind of make his matches seem more believable in a way. Like there were a few times where like I knew like Gunther was gonna go over, but there was even a few times where it was just like I felt like, oh
Randy's gonna win the 15th, you know.
yeah, like
And it would make sense because then they could run it back in Bad Blood or something. But
mhm.
no, in Triple H, he wants those long reigns. He hasn't had yet a potato back and forth championship drop. It would have been cool. The oof factor would have been sick, and then they would have had a rematch next pay per view. Got it back. You know what I mean? At least to get that count higher for John Cena whenever he does return, it'd be a cool storyline. But
Mhm.
I guess he's gonna be going back to SmackDown eventually, doing his thing with Cody Rhodes, which again will be very fun. But yeah, it was a great match overall. Again, it was one of the only matches I looked forward to where I thought, hey, maybe Randy could end up pulling it off. You never know. Um, but as expected, Gunther put him to sleep. Um, and ever since Randy came back too, his matches have been more entertaining. As you said, sometimes they're more background matches, but this time I feel like Randy Orton's gotten better in his pacing.
Mhm.
He's doing a lot of those backdrops on the tables. He's not always just like headlock, DDT. All right, set up the RKO. No, he's like actually doing more wrestling moves, keeping up with the pace, pushing more into the match. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty good pay per view. Again, I'll rewatch it again. But now the time for international pay per views are finally over, and now we're returning to the world of gimmicks, which I am looking forward to. That one being Bad Blood. Bad Blood is going to be pretty bloody, I'm hoping. It's going to be hopefully the return of Hell in a Cell. It's going to be
Excuse me,
maybe
sorry.
first blood matches. We'll see maybe some more violence. Again, Survivor Series is going to come with their matches and War Games. So hopefully, and then after the Royal Rumble next year, they'll start it all up again, right? So
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to a lot of the gimmicky pay per views back because I feel like these were like those in between pay per views, and now it's time. I know international helped it out a little bit to make it feel different instead of like a stale match in like Cleveland or Detroit or something.
Yeah, and again, like the crowds in the international markets have been on fire, so it's definitely added like a really cool element. But I will say that having the 1 o'clock start time sucked because I haven't like been able to fully sit down and watch a pay-per-view live because I work Saturdays, and by the time I get home, the pay-per-view is already like half over. So to be able to go back to like the evening pay-per-views where I can actually work, have my day, and actually watch it with the boys, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too, and some empanadas, if you know what I'm saying.
Some empanadas that you owe me.
Yeah, whatever.
Uh,
All that just to be freaking Rhea Ripley's bitch. That's all I gotta say.
but off of that, before we jump into Raw, did you get a chance to see NXT's pay-per-view on Sunday?
No, I actually was watching NXT today for the 100th time, of course, in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was watching it today, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" They were mentioning it that a lot of
Mm.
things happened through the pay
It
per view,
was
but you
pretty
mentioned it.
solid pay-per-view. Yeah, it was a pretty solid pay-per-view. Honestly, like we got like a huge debut from Julia, who was like speculated to be with the company for months, and she finally made her debut after Roxanne Perez's match, which to me, like Roxanne Perez has been like just killing it as NXT Women's Champion. Like all of her matches have been fire. She's been able to kind of like breathe believability into a lot of the contenders who have been facing her,
Okay.
who you wouldn't really expect to be in that position. So she had her match with Jada Parker, who again, like
Oh, I didn't
yeah,
see.
had
I knew that was
her
gonna
match.
happen.
Their match was actually really really good. Like they put on a banger. But like my favorite match of the night by far was Wesley versus Zachary Wentz, the former MSK tag team, and holy shit, those guys killed it. Like it was so good. It was so good. And like the idea, because I honestly thought Wesley was gonna go over, and Zachary Wentz, like a TNA superstar, beat a WWE superstar in a WWE pay-per-view match. And like I think it caught a lot of people off guard, but it was also just like really good. Like it really made Zachary Wentz look really good. Wesley working as a heel was super solid too, and it's something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time because I feel like he's had like one of the better heel turns
Mhm.
in recent memory, because of how unexpected but also believable it was. Ridge Holland also turned on Chase U as well in the opening match, and that tag team match was also just really that tag team match was really good. Like it was just fast paced for like 20 minutes and like just back and forth.
You say
Nathan
Rich
Frazier,
Holland,
Ridge Holland, yes,
the guy who broke Big E's neck?
the guy who broke Big E's neck. So
Okay, I
like the
saw I saw it today on NXT. He was talking
yeah
about it. He's like, oh, ever since I joined
yeah
Chase U, I made it better. That's why I had to switch off because he didn't think I had good ideas or whatever. I didn't know that was him. He looked so different to me,
yeah.
anyways.
He's been doing his thing. Like he's been kind of like working his way, and like he kind of had like a brief a face run because he was with Chase U for months, and basically was like helping the group, and it was like this whole ongoing thing where nobody trusted him except for Taya, what's her, I can't even remember her name. Either way, the girl from Chase U. And she was like the only one who trusted him, so everyone kind of was like, all right, cool, like we'll give him a chance. And then like after they lost, like he just blew up on everybody, and it was like, all right, cool. Now we're gonna get like the big monster Ridge Holland, which is probably the better choice, anyways. Um, and yeah, on top of that main event, Joe Hendry versus Ethan Page. Like Ethan Page has been great as a champion. He's like the he like as a heel, he's like legitimately like everything that you need as a heel. Like he's annoying, he's scummy, he knows how to work the crowd. He's just really good, and it's really cool just to see him in this light, given that like AEW fumbled him,
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
lack
say
of a
it's
better word.
crazy. Pretty much TNA wrestlers and now like AEW slash former AEW wrestlers because Ty Dillinger was there as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, who's now Spears. Like he's using his other name, which is
yeah,
pretty cool. I even saw Brian Pillman Jr. wrestling today, so I was like,
yes,
oh,
yes,
a lot of these wrestlers, even a TNA tag team got the number one contender
yeah. The right,
spot.
yeah,
They won
yeah,
today
yeah.
to face the NXT Tag Team Champions Axiom and
And
the
Nathan
the
Frazier.
cowboy guy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's interesting. I That's something that like I don't usually watch NXT. I'll say it. I'll just say it out here. But like I was watching today, I was like, oh, it's kind of interesting, especially if they're promoting different brands and different companies. It's not like
yes.
it's just NXT. It's like different wrestling brands and showing them off. Especially someone, let's say, as popular as Joe Hendry, and he was fighting for the NXT Championship as a TNA wrestler, fighting a former AEW wrestler who was just there this year. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
it's just nuts to me. And Shawn Michaels and Triple H are cooking. So
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like NXT's just been really fun to watch. And it's been a while since I've been able to like really enjoy it, but like I actually look forward to watching it like week to week. Like they're doing a lot of really cool stuff there right now. So, just hope that they continue. But like No Mercy was a great pay-per-view. But let's segue over to Raw.
yes,
Um,
sir. I got the results up here. All
alrighty.
right. So Monday Night Raw. It starts off with Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan coming out. Dominic Mysterio, I don't know if it's makeup or whatever happened in the match during the pay per view, but he had a bloody eye. It was all bruised all around here, and then there was blood inside of his eye.
Hmm.
I don't know which bump he took for that to happen, but he said they blamed it. They blamed the loss on not having enough sleep the night before because they were a little busy, if you know what I'm saying. So that's what they put the blame on. They got attacked by Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley got her foot stuck on the ropes. So Liv Morgan took advantage and kayfabe injured her leg, and they ran away. Now, this complaint happened again. We already mentioned the match where they looked weak. women's world champion, running away most of the time, whatever, right? Especially that's been happening the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They will continue a little bit later, but I'm just putting that in mind right now. The next thing is American Made. So Chad Gable's new group defeat Alpha Academy, so he trumps his old lads. And after the win, they have challenged the Wyatt Six to a street fight. So again, bringing back another stipulation and bringing me back to watch Monday Night Raw because I will watch that. It is. I don't know if you saw that debut because we talked about it last week. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I watched that. I had to watch that debut. It was like, I again like the presentation of Uncle Howdy has been great. Bo Dallas actually went on mic this week, like without any of the voice change or anything. It was just like him talking on a mic underneath the Uncle Howdy mask. So
Oh, really?
that was pretty. Yeah, yeah. So it was pretty cool. But like his debut last week was awesome. Just the presentation, the theme music, just like everything that they've done with that group so far, I love. I think the only drawback for me is just like how much of I think a step back with Chad Gable there has been since the Uncle Howdy stuff.
I guess so. I
Uh,
understand. Like they trust him, so I assume
yeah,
they were gonna do that, right? But
yeah, I get it, and like I'm hoping that at the very least, like we get back to Chad like looking like great and looking really good afterwards. But like, yeah, just he's just been taking the piss from Uncle Howdy like week after week, and I like obviously there's gonna be a point where like things kind of start to turn. Like they can't make him win everything all the time.
mm,
But yeah, so I will be watching that match next week for sure.
I feel like once they're done with this rivalry and they move on to whoever they're gonna attack next, like it'd be better for him. Just right
Hmm.
now, he's making his thing. He's a great heel. It's like the perfect ploy, the perfect person to bounce off for Uncle Howdy's debut. So I
Yeah,
think it makes sense. It
absolutely.
looks fun. So the next thing after is Shayna Baszler defeats Zelina Vega. Again, they're trying to promote these strong women um, beating on um, women. So uh, let's put it like that. We're gonna use this our safe words here.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Strong female characters.
yes,
I'm a fan of Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. So like, anytime that they win, I'm cool with it. I just want to see consistency with it, and I don't know, maybe the more people that they beat up, and like, because again, like, they've gone so many weeks looking weak, so like. You need to do it's kind of like with like Solo the Bloodline, right? Like, Solo like lost like 25 matches in a row, then all of a sudden he's your tribal chief.
yeah, yeah. Just more
But
believability.
now, yeah, but now Solo, especially with his group, looks a little bit more credible. So we just need to have a little bit more of consistency. I hate their name though. What the hell is Pure Fusion Collective? Like, I feel.
I think like it's because they like Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm all for it then. Never mind. It's a great name.
I think I don't know. It's a very weird name. At the end of the match, Lyra Valkyria tried to help Zelina Vega out, but she got slapped by the Fusion sisters. So they
Yeah.
uh, they did their job. So whatever. I am liking that they're focusing on tag teams and groups. Me and
Hmm.
Matt talked about it before, where a lot of the wrestlers are now doing factions.
Yeah.
And as more famous for AEW, they've been doing it as of late just to fit everyone on the roster. I feel like WWE does have a lot of solid solos, but people who were like, whatever, they're at least putting them into groups, especially the women's and promoting the women's tag team belts. I kind of like it. So good on them for doing their little storylines.
Yeah.
CM Punk said after the match that his story with Drew is now over. He's had enough of Drew. He thinks that going 50-50 is him going over. So he's going to focus on Gunther, the Ring General, because he thinks beating Drew all of a sudden just gets him the World Heavyweight Championship match. Drew, correct as always, attacks CM Punk because CM Punk doesn't deserve it. Takes him out. It looks like they're probably going to have a very good match at Bad Blood. Either a Hell in a Cell or a First Blood match or a no DQ match. I'm just looking forward to them cracking skulls because I'm pretty sure CM Punk got busted open during that pay per view, didn't he?
He did.
Anyways, if I was collecting points still, I would have won Claymore. Next, back to what I said about Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan and the new Judgment Day. Ilya Dragunov face against Dragon Lee and Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Did you see this match?
No, I did not, but
It was so good.
I already
It
knew
was
what
so
happened
good.
though.
It was so good.
Was
This
it?
match was a banger. Like there was just a point where like Ilya and Dragon Lee were just going off, and my god, like I was getting excited watching this match because these guys were just going at each other. It was sick.
All right, I'm gonna have to probably watch a replay of it or something.
Yeah, if you can, where you watch this match, but it was really really solid. But also, but like kudos, the right person won as far as I'm concerned.
But we can. It's not going big. Anyways, pretty much Damian Priest comes in. Dominic Mysterio just runs away. Again, making them look very weak. He's lost his opportunity for the IC title. Ilya Dragunov defeats Fake Rey Mysterio for the win, and he qualifies to the next round, which is pretty good. Again, big fan of Ilya Dragunov, so I'm hoping he's pushed a little bit more because he's been Braun Breaker's bitch, and it's no fun that way. Anyways, we talked about him before. The Unholy Union lost their tag team championships to Bianca Belair and Jade Gargle. Again, we assume this is going to happen. They won it in Scotland because they got that home crown pop, and now it's over. They fought Damage Control, and they actually ended up beating Damage Control, which is shocking to me.
I was surprised too.
And again, like usually when you lose the championships, you get your number one contendership already. You get your rematch. Oh my god, Joanna's in there with that. Hey, welcome in, SK Joanna. But this time they had to compete for it, which is a little weird, but okay. I guess they're still promoting. What the heck just happened? What did you start up? Okay. I think I just started this thing by accident.
Oh.
Anyways, what was I saying? Opportunity.
The idea of like the. So I know that with the number one or like the rematch clause, that's something that they stopped doing like a few years ago. Like back when Shane was running SmackDown, they had kind of did this whole idea of like, oh, we're gonna stop doing that whole thing, and people are gonna have to earn their way back up once they lose, kind of thing. So.
But then, like, I swear to God, like a couple months ago, someone's like, "I want my rematch. I want my rematch clause." So it happens a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot. And honestly, and again, in this situation too, it's like, okay, cool, you're competing for it, but like, they won a title rematch, so you could have like, you didn't have to do all this. Plus, like, I like not to. I don't really care about damage control right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
At least it promotes them. I guess that's what they're looking for.
Yeah,
they give them a match or something to do. You know what I mean?
There was a little thing that they did at the end because like the Bianca and Jade kind of got involved and like kind of inadvertently cost them the match. Also, Kairi Sane like hit her face off of the announce table and like busted her eye.
Her eyelid open and it was covering. The blood was coming into her eye. A lot of eye injuries. First Dom and now this with another blood in the eye. It was also kind of funny and ironic. Not funny, but like ironic that she's a pirate. She always says she's a pirate. So she wears the eye patch. So she's like,
the eye patch.
She's like, I guess I need an eye patch, which is funny. But yes, Damage Control loses again. Unholy Union again, our number one contender. So let's see where that leads to.
Yeah.
I did not see the rest of this.
Okay.
So interesting. Segment. Sami Zayn challenged the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther.
So Gunther kind of came out and said like, "Yo, I'm the best. I beat the best version of Randy Orton. No one can touch me. Whoever wants to, wants to try to step up can try." And Sami Zayn made his return to Monday Night Raw after like weeks of being gone, and basically said that what everyone kind of already knows. Like a lot of the greats who were Intercontinental Champion used the championship as like a stepping stone to push their way up to the main title, which was the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's like Sami is focused on winning the World Heavyweight Championship,
which is a good thing.
Which is great because like this is where I want Sami to be. And there's a good long-term storytelling here. Like Sami beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship to start his reign. So it's plausible that Sammy would be the next guy to sort of like try to beat Gunther since he already has that loss or that win over him. But then Gunther kind of was just kind of like, all right, that's cool and everything, but like ever since you won the title off of me, you kind of been like mediocre. And it's just like, damn, that's true, but damn, you didn't have to do it like that, Gunther. So Gunther basically denied his challenge, but we already know that it's going to lead to the championship
Which is a
match
good
anyway.
thing.
So
Gunther needs his rematch. Sami Zayn gets to finally push to the main spot.
yeah,
And as you said, it was true. His reign was very mediocre. Sami Zayn is this underdog character. It works well for him, so I'm excited for that. Right after that, Braun Strowman defeats Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser to advance to the Intercontinental title #1 spot. I
yeah.
thought Braun Strowman would be dead for a couple weeks, but apparently he came back strong.
He had
Uh,
to. Do you know the reason why, right?
no.
So originally it was supposed to be Bronson Reed's spot, but he got COVID.
Really? Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So they took him out of the match and they had to basically bring back. I think Braun was supposed to sell the injuries, or maybe he was supposed to. Actually, I don't. I think Bronson was probably supposed to win this match.
Okay.
But yeah, like Bronson sold the injuries. He had a whole bunch of tape and basically like sold that he was like hurt. But since Bronson Reed couldn't be there due to COVID, they put Braun Strowman in his place, and he ended up winning the match. So
So it's gonna be Braun Strowman versus Ilya Dragunov for the
it's
number one
gonna be
contention.
it's a fatal four-way match. So it's Braun Strowman versus Ilya versus Pete Dunne versus Jey
Oh, I
Uso.
forgot about that. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I
Jay's
think
gonna
it's
win. It's gonna
Pete.
be great.
Yeah, and Jay had a backstage interaction with Braun Breaker too, where he was just kind of like, "Keep my name out your mouth."
Yeah, because he
Uh,
mentioned the
but
family. Yeah.
but a pretty cool segment that they had where Damian Priest basically after Rhea Ripley got attacked by Dom and Thing was like, "I'm gonna go out to Judgment Day." Pierce was just like, "You can get them in a tag team match," but like Damian was like, "I don't have any friends here, so I don't really know who I'm gonna get the tag."
Yay.
And Rhea was just like, "Oh wait, hold on, I know somebody. Just give me just like," and he just smiled, just like, "Just let me know what he says." And then he came back and he was like, "Oh, what did he say?" And like, did he say yes? And she was like, "No." He said yeet, and I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah. And that's the last match of the night. Damian Priest and Jey Uso defeat Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They defeated the tag team champions. That's the other complaint people had.
Yep.
My days, Rhea Ripley. What were you wearing Monday night?
She was wearing stuff Monday night. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, I see why people are complaining. This new Judgment Day sucks, and
Well, like,
they're
and
really
this
showing it.
the thing is that they haven't defended their titles since they won it. So yeah, people are complaining like, okay, what's the point? Like people are now kind of saying like, what was the point of splitting up the tag team titles if like these titles aren't being defended on pay-per-views and like you have like on Raw a situation where these titles are barely getting defended. And especially like, and I would definitely agree with that, especially since Raw's 3 hours.
There's plenty of
You
tag
could
teams too.
there's plenty of tag teams. You could do something, but obviously they're involved with this whole Judgment Day thing right now, which is fine, but then why did you put the titles on them in the first place? Like, give the titles to another tag team. You can run this whole storyline with them and do whatever, unless like they'll like plan is that you're gonna put Jay and Sammy together to beat them. I don't know, but either way, it's like you're kind of holding the titles hostage when they're involved in a separate program that doesn't really need the titles to really advance it, right? So,
Mm. And that was Monday Night Raw.
yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you want to get into the sheets? I
Oh yeah,
assume.
let's get into the sheets.
Let's get into the sheets. Let me pull this back up. And this is usually Matt's segment, but Matt Belland is not here, so we'll get into the sheets. Let's get lost in the sheets. Yeah, welcome to Matt's, aka Eric and Derek's sheets, where we nut up or shut up in the sheets.
Nut up in the dirty sheets and whatnot. All right, so let's talk about some sheets. All right, so there has been a lot of controversial stuff that's been happening in the world of wrestling. So, viewer discretion is advised. If this is a topic that is sensitive to you, then please avert your ears. But we will talk about it anyways. Um, this past week, we'll start with Nikki Bella. There was her husband was involved in a domestic dispute. Well, I would say domestic battery. It wasn't a dispute. It was a battery with two different things.
They said
With
assault.
Nikki Bella.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In which, yeah, there was assault in play, which um, both of us at EMFC and Matt, if he was here, absolutely do not condone. And I could go on a whole tangent in regards to why that isn't okay and the weird thought process behind it. But that is something that happened. Our thoughts are with Nikki Bella, which because no person should ever have to deal with abuse in any form, at all. And Artem is a piece of shit, and I have been saying this for years. But I'm also a huge John Cena and Nikki Bella stan, so
Yeah,
like,
it's
um,
crazy that again it didn't work out with John Cena or whatever, and then she finally married and got the child that she wanted, but then this situation happened, and
yeah,
I believe it was what Monday that she filed for divorce, or was it Sunday?
Sunday or something. That's the
It
speculation
was
right
almost like
now. I mean,
instant. It was like she
yeah,
filed for divorce, which again makes sense. He shouldn't be in a
as she
relationship
should.
like that.
As she should. Like, there's never an okay time to ever like put your hands on your partner. To me, I'm very much the type of person where it's just like there's really no reason to put your hands on anybody, in any situation. Like, words can really hold a lot of weight and a lot of power. Communication is very much key, but especially when you're in a relationship, there's never really an open forum for that to be a thing. So, um, definitely hope that Nikki Bella is okay, that she's able to move forward, because she definitely should not be with anybody who feels that it is okay to put their hands on their partner as a means to assert themselves or assert dominance. It is a surefire way to make yourself weak. It is not it's not a good quality to have at all. So I hope that Nikki Bella is safe and she's getting the support that she needs. I hope that Artem understands more than anything why it's not okay. He gets the help that he needs to understand that that's not something that you can do. Let us segue over to the next piece of sheets, which is related. Odyssey Jones, WWE superstar Odyssey Jones,
He's literally
was.
started his. I mean, he's been like out of the shuffle for a long time. He's promoted
Mhm.
as this young talent who's gonna do very good. Triple H was
Mhm.
actually very supportive of him. And he just joined the New Day like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Xavier
Mhm.
Woods was talking about like, oh, I don't want him to replace Big E to Kofi Kingston. We're assuming a heel turn and a New Day breakup was gonna happen. Then all of a
Uh,
sudden, this week he got removed from the WWE roster, and then Derek break the news to them what happened. Again, similar.
a similar situation. It is speculated that, or and it has been put out that there are allegations against him for domestic abuse as well. There is actually a Twitter account that has been posting on his wall for quite some time, in regards to basically saying like, oh, like he's an abuser. He abused me. He did this. He did this. He did this. There's still not a lot of information in regards to if WWE is doing anything about it, but as far as it goes, like he isn't going to be used on TV for the near future until this whole situation kind of gets like,
That's where they fired him. They
uh,
cut him.
yeah. So I saw that he got released too, but as far as I know, like I don't think WWE released like an actual statement on it yet. So,
But like being
uh,
like accused of something, okay, it's understandable, whatever, right? But
yeah,
like they were quick. Like they
yeah,
were quick. There's like
yeah.
when
Oh,
someone's
they
quick
don't
like
play with
that,
that.
when it's something quick like that, it's almost like you kind of need proof for it. But I don't know.
Yeah, no. When it comes to anything like abuse, especially like because the same thing happened to Zachary Wentz, aka Nash Carter, right? Like the reason why MSK broke up is because his then girlfriend accused him of spousal abuse, and WWE had to take action immediately because you can't really condone that. Now it came out later that she was actually just lying and was just trying to ruin his career. But at the same time too, it's just like you can't really play devil's advocate in those situations, right? Like if the information comes out that like you were absolved of any of that, then you can kind of go and see if you can kind of make something out of your career. But like at the end of the day, like if there's anyone that's saying anything like that about you, like you know, it's huge that it's detrimental to your career. So we will see in the coming weeks like what happens out of that. But Odyssey Jones no longer with the WWE roster as far as we know. Their whole storyline has been dropped. Kofi Kingston was lobbying for a tag team title match with Xavier Woods, so we'll see if they are still planning on doing the New Day breakup. I have been a strong advocate against the New Day breakup since they started this whole thing. I understand that like the idea is cool for people and it's different because New Day has been together for over 10 years and their act is stale. But I also know
Or do
that
a
the
heel
New
turn at least.
Day, like they could do a heel turn together. I'm totally fine with that. They want to be heels, right? But I the whole idea that like the concept of having a tag team just for the purpose of breaking them up eventually for the shock factor has been done so many times, and it's very rare that you've had a tag team that has been able to stand the test of time from start to finish and not have any major dissension. So for me, like I get it. I get it's fun and I get it's different, but let's be real now. They do the breakup. Xavier Woods maybe turns on Kofi Kingston. Maybe has like one hot month of being a heel, and after that, people are gonna stop caring. So what's the point?
That's
So
my issue with that whole situation.
yeah, so we'll see where that goes. Other piece of news is something that I have no problem talking about because I always shit on this person and I will continue to shit on him. Please bleep this out for the YouTube edit. But Hulk Hogan was a guest on Logan Paul's podcast, I think this past week, in which I believe Logan Paul had asked him in regards to how he feels about a number of fans who still think he's a piece of crap for the incidents that had happened a few years ago, in which he had said that you know he feels that he should be forgiven because. And he used the example of Chris Benoit saying that like Chris Benoit did what he did, and people still love him. So
Yeah,
like,
I forgot about that.
yeah, and so
That's horrific. First of all, second of all,
I,
people do not forgive that. That is
nobody has
fucking
forgiven
terrible.
nobody. This is really this like a segment of your discretion is advised, but no one has forgiven Chris Benoit. There are a lot of people who will make mention of his career, how much a great career he has had, and being a longtime wrestling fan, I have watched a lot of Chris Benoit's career, and in ring, it was really cool. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people on the internet wrestling community, don't understand how big of a deal death is. Like
They
a
think it's like a game. They're
person,
like, oh, okay, whatever. But like, it was a huge
this
moment.
is
Like even
this is real life.
Paul Heyman mentioned it. He's like, yeah, he's a fantastic wrestler, but he,
This is real life. This man killed his family.
yeah,
Legitimately killed his family. And I have done studies on Chris Benoit in school. It was actually funny. Like one of my classes was looking into like the human brain, and they actually used Chris Benoit as an example of that in regards to like how messed up his brain was when they did the autopsy. And we can kind of make heads or tails about like was he in the right state of mind when he did it, was blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, it was still done, and we can't really make justification for his actions because at the end of the day, he still took the lives of two people who didn't deserve to die. And no one has forgiven him for that. Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, is a fucking 70-year-old man. Please bleep that out as well. Who in had full intention of saying everything that he said during that incident where he was like n-bombing everybody, like n-bombing because his daughter was dating a black man, and that's not something that you do in a moment of hysteria. That's something that you have full intention to do. Plus, he's Republican, so please let miss me with that bullshit. First of all, um,
it's just
but to be able to use a serious matter to try to compare to how you should be more loved because of a mistake, please, rightfully so, go fuck off. Like, I cannot stand this man enough. Like, he's already done so much to screw so many people over in his career to make himself the star that he is.
Yeah, I was gonna say
There
not
are
even personal
people.
wise, like even professional wise, like he's ruined a lot of careers, a lot of people's lives. Like this is why he's not like he's a legend, of course, because of all the things he did. But
Yes.
like he's hated because he's not the best human being, and that's
Yeah.
just that. I don't.
That's
He literally just compared someone who murdered his entire family, and he's like, "See, people love him. Why don't they love me? People don't love him. People don't love you. That's the whole
no.
point. You know what I mean?"
That's just life.
Yeah.
He's forever going to be on wrestling's Mount Rushmore. Like, you cannot mention professional wrestling without Hulk Hogan, and that's the way it's going to be. But there are, what really really pisses me off too is that there are a lot of legends who have passed away hating him. Ultimate Warrior did not like Hulk Hogan, and yet when Ultimate Warrior passed away, Hulk Hogan like gave the speech like him and Walter Warrior were best friends. Like, this guy had numerous YouTube videos talking about how much of a piece of shit Hulk Hogan was.
Or like the
Randy Savage
Undertaker.
also did not like him. Undertaker, there's a lot of people who worked with him who know how he does business. And the fact that like he kind of comes through and kind of like pulls like the whole like, oh well, da 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 da, as if he has any right to be involved in any of their, it just pisses me off, and I really don't want to hear from him anymore. I don't like the idea. Also, in the sheets too, while we're going on it, apparently he signed the new 5-year deal with WWE. So I guess we're going to be seeing a lot more of the bullshit appearances from him.
Brother, brother, brother.
Which, great for that. But like, I just, I, man, there's so many things I could say about Hulk Hogan. I hate him so much, and honestly, like, my hate stemmed from, like, I've said this before. My hate stemmed from him with his match with Shawn Michaels because of how he did business with Shawn, and rightfully so. Shawn like trolled the crap out of him during that whole run, and it was like the best poetic justice that I have ever seen in a professional sense. Um, but
Because that's
yeah,
how Hulk Hogan is. When WCW got ruined, when TNA got
they got
ruined,
ruined.
there's a reason. He's just the locker room cancer. But anyways, on another note, there is more sheets to go through. WWE headquarters apparently is going on sale, which is
Yes, I
crazy
saw that.
because, again, another redacted person, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who created WWE and made it to the way it is right now. He made those headquarters, and we've seen it many times throughout wrestling history, really, including recently during COVID when everything was shut down. They had Money in the Bank there, where they pretty much wrestled throughout the entire building until they reached the top, and then went on the ladder to win or whatever, right? But now that TKO is a thing, so again, UFC, WWE merged together, they have another bigger and more improved headquarters. So now they're selling the building that is legendary. People are saying, "Oh, maybe you should make it to a Hall of Fame." Uh, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that, Derek? Or do you think they should just
Um,
sell
I'm
that
fine with
building
it.
quick? You're down
I'm
with it?
fine with it. I'm fine with it. Honestly, everything like TKO, like ever since WWE TKO have merged. Hold on, quick mention in the chat. Say goodbye to SmackDown on Fox this Friday. Yes,
Yeah,
for
I
the
was, I
next.
was literally gonna bring that
We're gonna
up.
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But honestly, like, one of the things about life is that the one thing that's constant is change. And when Redacted was in charge, a lot of things remain
So
the same
sentimental.
for way too long. I think that they WWE has been pushing forward a lot of really new, cool, innovative things, and it's been doing well for them. So if this is going to continue, and they're going to continue to make a lot more money and get more people's eyes on their product, as far as I'm concerned, I'm welcome to it. That building is iconic, but all things must come to an end eventually. Much like Undertaker's undefeated streak that should have come to end
Oh,
at
no, no, no,
WrestleMania
okay, no,
30.
no, no, no.
Um,
No yeet. Anyways,
you know,
as let's see if we say critic Cody Burris, as they mentioned here on the chat. Yes. So the other big news this week is also that Fox is the last time with Friday Night SmackDown, and watching NXT today, they mentioned is like, oh my god, for the first time in a long time, it's USA WWE week, wrestling week, because all three, Monday Night Raw, NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown are all going to be on USA Network starting next week. Again, it's going to be
Mhm.
a limited time only, heading into like the fall season, and of course, Raw will eventually go to Netflix. NXT is going to CW, but yes, Fox. What do you think about that, Derek? Honestly, we're
It's fine.
Canadian, so like
It doesn't matter to us. We get it on the same channel regardless. The Fox deal was really funny to me. I thought it was really cool when they made the deal, but the first report that I had saw when Fox and WWE came together, what really showed me that like Fox doesn't watch wrestling, and that's fine. But like they were looking for big time stars. They wanted The Rock. They wanted Brock Lesnar. They wanted like pretty much like all the big time people on SmackDown every week to be able to build their product. And it was very evident that it wasn't going to happen. We got The Rock on the first episode of Fox, and then he went to Hollywood.
it
We
was
got
still
Roman
entertaining though.
Reigns.
Still good,
It was
yeah.
very entertaining. Roman Reigns had his tribal chief run, and honestly, Roman Reigns was a huge part of it.
Mm.
But I don't know what Fox was really expecting here. But excuse me.
Oh, wow,
WWE made their WWE made their money off of it, and it's kind of funny. I don't want to talk about Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston. I don't want to talk about that at all.
You're gonna hurt him.
Bringing that up. I don't. That's a painful memory that I don't want to think about.
You do not tell a Ghanaian about another Ghanaian losing. For example, when Uruguay eliminated Ghana from the World Cup, you'll never live the day. You'll never live the day.
Look, Ghana got the revenge. We effectively eliminated Uruguay from this past World Cup. Us alone, nobody else, and we didn't even have to win the game to do it. That is the truth.
But Kofi never got his revenge against Brock, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, and and like I get.
See, you're working him up. He's going off. He's going off. Anyways, a lot of memories did happen on SmackDown and Fox. Again, we're Canadian, so we have it all on Sportsnet 360. It's just a one-stop shop for everything, right?
Yep.
Of course, because let's say we have legal ways of finding different channels for the states, including Fox, USA channel, right? So, if we can't get 360 to work, we switch to these channels. I don't know. It's been a good time. Again, Fox tried to promote the hell out of wrestling. They wanted more viewership, and again, they got a lot of these big names to come back and SmackDown more into importance, right? Because it's always been Monday Night Raw number one, SmackDown second. They tried to do the whole SmackDown's the land of opportunity or whatever, right? But with Fox, they actually helped out a lot. They brought the Fiend character, especially during the COVID times. Roman Reigns, as you said, the whole tribal chief. They brought Cody Rhodes over and whatnot, right? They have a lot of young up-and-coming stars like LA Knight. They brought back Randy Orton. They did a whole bunch of things for SmackDown just to promote it. Again, like you said, we don't know what Fox is trying to do. What did they expect? They got a lot of viewership. They got a lot of people watching. Maybe they wanted more. Maybe they wanted The Rock every week, which is like impossible. But again, streaming is the new norm, I guess, when it comes to a lot of TV shows. Not necessarily when it comes to live events. I guess WWE's kind of pioneering that with Monday Night Raw. It is the longest episodic show in history, passing The Simpsons. Now they're going to move that show towards a streaming platform, and that streaming platform where like, let's see what rerun I'm going to see again of this show or of this movie that I've seen for the 1,000th time. We'll actually have something live, right? So it's going to be very interesting moving forward. Again, because we're Canadian, not only Monday Night Raw, but Friday Night SmackDown and NXT will be all live on Netflix for us. So it's gonna be a wild ride, but it's gonna be interesting. He's saying more things. WWE getting old pay-per-views back this October with Bad Blood. Yes. So we discussed a little bit earlier too, where we're looking forward to more gimmicky matches, and I know Triple H is doing his thing. He knows what he's doing. For example, we've seen a backstreet brawl last week, and not only that, but it was like a parking lot brawl with Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed. It's something classical WWE used to do, and it's very entertaining, right? We had the bull rope match with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre that happened this week. So we're expecting something to happen with Bad Blood. We're hoping for Hell in a Cell matches. We're hoping for more like non DQ matches, something more violent, something that brings literal blood out, especially with the feud of CM Punk and Drew. It's probably what's going to happen. Solo and Cody Rhodes, they're going to have a segment this Friday. Again, last episode on Fox for Friday Night SmackDown. They're going to re-bring their feud, so that might be a Hell in a Cell match. I actually want something like a First Blood match to happen, because that's something we haven't seen in like forever. And I think it'd be unique. The first person to literally crack their skull open wins the match. It's just more unique stuff like that. I'm looking forward to classical pay-per-views. Again, Survivor Series is most likely going to bring back War Games, and then after that's probably going to be the Royal Rumble, because
Yeah,
they're gonna skip pay-per-views along that way
yeah.
and
Crown
extend the
Jewel.
stories, right? Maybe Crown
Crown
Jewel.
Jewel, yeah, Crown Jewel is a thing in November as well too. I think that's before Survivor Series, but after Survivor Series, they got nothing until Royal Rumble. So it's like 2 or 3 months of like no pay-per-views.
Yeah, and
It's
then
gonna
Royal
be
Rumble, then Elimination Chamber. It's going to be gimmicky matches, but again, looking forward to it because the gimmicks as of late has been just going international, right? They've been doing all of these international events, which is cool because again, we would have had some generic, I don't know, match in like Detroit. You know what I mean? They would have just some random pay-per-view, kind of how like Backlash is after WrestleMania. At least the international pay-per-views provided some sort of entertainment, and now back to the gimmicky stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. And this week, the what are they called now? They're not American Alpha. They're
American made.
American Made challenge the Wyatt Six to a street fight. Was that it? Street fight.
Yes.
So again, Triple H is bringing more gimmicks back. It should be interesting. I'm hoping Bad Blood again. Cody Rhodes' hometown. They promoted everything with it, right? So bringing rappers and everything involved. So
You know what really grinds my gears about the Kofi Kingston Championship run too?
should we just do the grain of salt? Segue to the next segment. Alright, go off now. Go off on
You know
your
what
end.
really? Cause okay, like I didn't want to rehash like old like bitter feelings about his championship run, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was really cool. I liked seeing Kofi Kingston like having his whole singles run and like people chanting Kofi and stuff like that. But my biggest beef, aside from him losing the title in 7 seconds on a SmackDown, they're really just like really shitting on his whole championship run.
It's live on
F
Fox.
redacted for that. But did I tell you the story of like
Fair play to
his
the wise.
WrestleMania entrance?
Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
So this was revealed on the New Day podcast, which I wish they would bring back because I still listen to that thing to this day. The New Day had an actual entrance planned for Kofi Kingston, where he actually had his own theme music.
Okay.
That was done with it was gonna be, I don't think Wale was involved, but it was a rapper named Mega Ran who actually did a full-on new theme for Kofi Kingston for WrestleMania that was supposed to be debuted for it. It's like lost in the ether of the internet. Like we still have not heard it. But the idea of his entrance, which I like legitimately, if I had seen his entrance, I already cried at the end of that match. I would have been bawling if they actually did it. But Kofi actually got a recording of his mother speaking in Tree, in my native language, basically hyping him up and saying like, "You worked for this, you worked hard for this, you earned this. Like, go out there and take your prize."
Mm.
And they basically had like a drum beat that was going to start off his entrance. That was like kind of like an African drum beat, but it was going to the beat of like the New Day Rocks claps, but it was like a little bit more faster paced. And like there was going to be a bunch of people that were going to be coming out in like I think the New Day was going to come out in like traditional clothing. They were going to have like a bunch of kids and like people that were kind of dressed up in like all of Kofi Kingston's shirts all over the years from like his 10-year career. and like there was just gonna be like a crowd of people that were just basically gonna go, and then they were just gonna sort of like kind of like amp him up and just kind of push him towards battle. This entrance was going to be flippin' epic, and Redacted scrapped it and just said, "Nah, we're not doing it."
Yeah, that sounds
Why?
sick. But that's a Vince McMahon. That's a Vince McMahon move right there. And it
Like
summarizes
literally,
Brock Lesnar beating him in like within 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
like especially with like how hot that feud was, and for him to just sort of come out to the New Day theme song. It wasn't even like it was his own theme song. It was his a theme song that was more so just like a team theme. Like again, like if there was any way to kind of make me feel less excited for that match, and I had all the excitement for it, it was just like, yeah, we're just gonna just bring him out, and that's it, kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
And you know that, especially when it comes to championship matches, like they like no expenses are spared for making those like entrances special, and you really have the one opportunity to really give this guy who has given so much of his body and so much of his life to WWE, just give him this one thing, just
They
make
gave him
this
the title though, at
moment like
least.
at least, and then they had him drop it in 7 seconds to Brock Lesnar. Which, realistically, if we're talking realism, yeah, I get it. It's probably the most realistic situation that could have happened, but like it was still bull. And for what? So that he can have like a shit match against Cain Velasquez, who like left the company like a month later. It was
Yeah, I
bullshit.
forgot all that happened. But that's the power of Fox for you. They wanted
Yeah,
they wanted something big. They wanted something shocking. It was shocking. It was shitty, but
and they didn't want someone black.
yeah. Cody has mentioned. Oh yeah, that once again, Bad Blood will be a month away. Which, yeah, I guess we said earlier we're looking forward to finally seeing a pay per view in the evening time
Oh my god, I cannot
because
wait.
everything's been middle of the day on a Saturday, and yes, I've been fortunate to see some of them or most of them, especially with like my little brother Seba or like my family at home, right? Um, Sometimes I've been outside doing errands or whatever, and I had to have it on my phone trying to watch it. So international pay per views are fun, but I think it's about time that we go back to our regular schedule, and then the boys can all get together and we get to watch a nice old pay per view in the evening on a nice Saturday night.
I'm gonna
Um,
see if
mhm.
well, like I don't know if this is gonna be a thing, but I'm gonna see. I know Johnny would be down, but
I will most likely
would
miss it
you
though.
want to try to make a trek over to Grimsby and watch it over at his crib?
I will most likely miss the pay per view now that I'm thinking of it. I was planning a trip
Oh,
to get out of here that the first week of October,
that's
so
crazy.
I will most likely miss it.
All right, well then we'll leave that idea for Survivor Series maybe. But
There's which one's Crown Jewel afterwards?
Crown Jewel is after Bad Blood. I think
So
it's
Bad
Blah
Blood's
Blah Blah.
October.
Then Crown Jewel is the beginning of November, and I think Survivor Series is like the end of November.
November, December. Okay. Interesting. I guess we'll figure it out then.
Yeah. But otherwise, other grain of salt I'll talk about.
Okay.
You didn't watch any of Raw at all, did you?
No.
Okay, so this was the broadcasting debut of Joe. I call him Joe Tesseract. I actually don't know
The
it was a Tesseract or
Tesseract.
whatever. But broadcast debut of Monday Night Raw for Joe. There was, critics that piped in on his performance. I thought he did a pretty decent job. There were definitely some things that he could have worked on. I could definitely tell that by hour 3, this guy was burned out.
Oh,
Like you could tell in the way that he was like broadcasting, like he was just tired and he was just like shit, like we're still going kind of thing. But overall, I think he did a pretty decent job. The crowd was hot for him. Like they had a little introduction and like the crowd was like super amped for him. And the upside to it is like they did a little segment before they started Monday Night Raw where he was on mic and he was just like talking about how he's excited to be a part of WWE, and he got a decent pop with the crowd because he was able to like relate it to like sports, and they were in Denver. And it's just like, oh man, this is like kind of like the feel of like a Denver Broncos crowd. And it was like, oh.
oh my God, the Broncos.
But it's like these are the kind of
Uh,
things that like is dope because like when you have guys who come from the sports world, like they're able to connect with the audience in that way, kind of thing, right? So,
it's just
hopefully, like
it's interesting that they went that route though, instead of like finding someone who knows about wrestling, who's a wrestling fan, or just a wrestler previous. A lot of people said Jerry the King Lawler, but I'm like, no, he's
no,
like he's
he's
halfway
been
there, if you know what I'm
he
saying. Like
yeah,
he's
he's washed. Like Jerry Lawler's like last like few years with WWE
was bad.
broadcasting has been Yeah, like,
He
cause
didn't
like he
remember
can't
names.
be. He can't remember names. He can't be like creepy Jerry anymore because he's like 80. So like it's like, and plus like Jerry Lawler was really only good with JR. Like you need both of them, and
Yeah,
like they're both past their prime. I'm always of the sort that for me it's always to hire from within as opposed to going from out.
yeah.
So like
Pat
Vic
McAfee
Joseph.
exception.
Yeah, Pat McAfee is like the only exception. I love him on commentary, but like what kind of bothers me too is that a lot of people were kind of making a comparison to him and Pat McAfee, and it's just like, well, they're two different announcing positions. Like Pat McAfee was a color commentator, and Joe is a play-by-play announcer. Like he's not supposed to be over the top. He's supposed to call the action for what it is,
Yeah,
right? So, I thought he did a decent job. Definitely things to work on, but it's his first night. He will get better or he will get tired and quit like Mauro Ranallo did. Which I miss Mauro. I loved
he
Mauro
was
on
good, but he was
commentary.
just getting bullied. That's another
Yeah,
thing. JBL, you could just brought back JBL, who's been like traveling all like the wrestling circuits. Apparently,
yeah.
Booker T. His work is amazing. It makes me laugh
Booker
every
T
single
is
time.
killing it in NXT. I love
It's
it.
so funny,
I
man.
love it. Yeah, he's so good at NXT. Like honestly, yeah, you could have brought him up too. But honestly, I feel like he's found his niche in NXT, and it would feel weird seeing him elsewhere. Like I feel like he belongs in NXT. And honestly, Vic Joseph kind of belongs there too. Like he's a really good play-by-play announcer,
Yeah,
but like I
they
just
work
feel like
off
they are
well.
they work off of each other and they are the voices of NXT. Like I can't see anybody else going there and doing what they do and calling the matches like they call it at this point. So I miss Michael Cole though. There were very much a lot of points like I was watching that show and I was just like, and people said it too, it's just like, man, this Raw feels weird without Michael Cole being there, and
Yeah.
it's the truth. But like but I'm assuming because Pat McAfee is gonna be back for Raw on Netflix, and I think Michael Cole is gonna make the jump over to Raw when that happens too. So seems kind of
So
weird.
it was Wade Barrett and then the new guy, and the other one
Yeah,
was Corey Graves and Michael Cole.
yeah. Michael Cole and Corey Graves are gonna be calling
Oh,
SmackDown.
I guess because Michael Cole is a play-by-play. I don't
Yeah.
know. They could have kept him there.
Yeah, honestly, I think Corey Graves is doing good doing play-by-play because he still kind of had like a little bit of the color, and him and Wade Barrett kind of fed off of each other a
Yeah,
little
they're
bit well
pretty
too.
good.
But like
Yeah.
Corey Graves is better working as like a heel commentator, but I feel like it was kind of cool because they were both kind of working as heels,
Yeah.
so they were just
Yeah.
kind of like talking shit for like 2 hours. It was great.
That was a fun time. Yeah. I don't know. They'll figure it out soon, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of mouthpieces they could have had there. The Miz could have been one as well. He's not really doing much right now. Could be a good
Yeah,
commentator.
I feel like he's gonna turn heel soon, um, which he's become like the Big Show of heel turns at this point. Like,
but
and it's like,
like
and
with
it's
our
like,
truth, like it's just washed now at this point. Like it's done. Like it's not funny anymore.
yeah, the stick is over kind of thing. Like our truth had his good run, and I enjoy our truth. I think he's really comedic and stuff. But like Miz is a heel. He knows he's a heel too. He's talked about it numerous times. Like he loves when people hate him, and people just love to hate him. So it's like, why try to make him a good guy when people love to boo him and people love to cheer when he talks his shit? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think there was like like when Triple H does those little like backstage like in the background stuff where like like it's like, oh, this is a real subtle thing that we're doing, but like we don't know what it is. I think they did a little thing there where I think the Miz was talking to Chad Gable
Interesting in the
or
background.
in the background, yeah. So I think it was kind of like a little tease of like, oh, he might just like go back to being a heel soon. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Um, do I have any other grains of salt? I need Roman back.
Uh,
Oh, here's my grain of salt. Hot take, but Roman's new theme song isn't as good as his original new
oh,
theme song.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
I've
liked
been
his
listening.
I liked his original theme song a lot better, but
Yeah,
I mentioned to everyone, everyone's like, no, I prefer the new one better. And I'm like,
no,
no, it doesn't hit the
no,
same.
it
Like it's
doesn't hit the same.
a nice little epic WrestleMania
It was
music,
good for
but
WrestleMania, but like I don't want to keep hearing it. Plus, it's a lot faster. Like it was on YouTube, but someone had did like they changed the pitch of it a little bit. It made it a little bit like lower, and they slowed it down, and it sounded so much better. And I realized like, oh yeah, like this theme sucks because it's just like a lot faster paced, and which is like whatever.
I feel
And
like
also like
is it
the original like guitar riffs that he had from his old theme song was very evident in the like the first head of the table theme, and they kind of took that out with the newer one, and I want it back. I want it back.
I guess it's him evolving, but it's okay. It's not that bad. LA
It's not
Knight
that bad.
LA Knight also changed his theme song too, but it's pretty much the same theme song with like a harder guitar.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
quick pace,
which
and they change his colors
yeah,
from blue to like the Slim Jim colors, which is not bad. Actually, it's
yeah.
pretty. It fits him pretty well.
It fits him. It fits him. Yeah. Oh, I did not get a chance to watch this match too, but like it looks as though we might be getting a little best of series with Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, who have just been like hitting banger after banger
Like
after
every
banger
week, I
with their
know.
matches.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing
Um.
Cesaro and Thing did. Sheamus
Yeah.
so many long years ago,
So.
which made him a great tag team. It was a lot of fun during that time.
Yeah. Very much a lot of the bar was like that was a tag team that I didn't expect to work, but my God, they were great together.
Yeah.
Um. But what else do we got here? Oh, in the sheet stuff too. Apparently Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso are cleared,
Jimmy
and it
Uso.
could be
Sorry.
Jimmy Uso, the other Uso are cleared. With Jimmy Uso's already been cleared for a minute, but like Charlotte Flair being cleared is also relatively interesting because I think
Ooh.
her knee injury was 6 months ago. So she's kind of coming back a little bit earlier than people intended, but again, grain of salt. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but
Where
the
would you throw
idea.
her in though?
Oh, easy. Her and Nia Jax. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be her and Nia Jax more than likely.
Then she's gonna win the title over.
Or Tiffany Stratton cashes in on Charlotte,
Yeah. Most likely.
but
That
most
way
likely.
it makes her count higher, so she could be 16 or whatever time they're gonna make her.
Yeah, but once I feel like once Charlotte Flair gets thrown back into the fold, that's when we will see Bianca Belair finally make the turn.
Oh, you think Bianca's turning, not Jade Cargill?
I think Bianca's turning. I think like either or could turn, and I'll be okay with it. They're both great heels. Like when Jade Cargill was a heel in AEW, I loved her. She was awesome. Her in-ring work was obviously still a little bit like could be worked on, but like she had so much presence as a heel, that like honestly it kind of overshadowed anything else that she was doing. Bianca Belair as a heel though was like one of my favorite characters in NXT. Because she was just like she just talked her ish and was unapologetic. She kind of does that as a face now, but I feel like she's just too happy with it. And I
Mm.
was really hoping and thinking that it was going to happen at like Bash of Berlin, and I was messaging you during that match and saying like, oh, like they came out completely separately, and Bianca kind of has like a little bit more urgency in the way that she's working in the ring. So I was like seeing like little small nuancy things. I was just like, oh, like it could be happening, but then it didn't happen, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, they
okay,
like won
well.
the titles, but again, they got it back so they can promote it because they're definitely gonna happen very soon.
Yeah, yeah. So, some really cool things in the horizon for sure. I'll be excited when Jimmy comes back. I really hope that when Jimmy does come back, though, that they don't change his theme song because I think his theme song is still super, super flippin' dope. Like they could go back to like the tag team theme when him and Jay get back together, but like his individual theme is sick. I love it.
Mm.
So yeah, some pretty cool things in the horizon, hopefully. Um, put you on the spot. Now that we are, what, 3 or 4 months in, how are you feeling about Cody Rhodes' title reign?
Cody Rhodes, Cody, Cody Rhodes. Like I mentioned all these months, here in Me Bear Points, we love to see it. I still believe that Cody Rhodes could be a fantastic champion, especially as a face. He just has that proper look to him, kind of like that Super Cena look. But as my original complaint was, there's no rival to him. Roman Reigns and Cody was a great rival kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
When you're a face, you need that strong rivalry. When you're John Cena, you need that Randy Orton, that Edge,
yeah,
those real
yeah,
piece of shit heels that will try to injure you, your family, your livelihood, everything as much as possible and make you want to come back the next week.
Yeah.
The first match was AJ Styles. So let's compare Gunther, world champion. First match
Mhm.
he has against
Randy.
WWE future Hall of Famer, legend, Randy
Mhm.
Orton. Huge way
Mhm.
to start it.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Derek, but Cody Rhodes got freaking AJ Styles. What has AJ Styles done the last couple of years?
It's true. It's
Nothing.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like he's fighting like a wrestler in his prime. He's facing someone who's washed a long time ago, right? It wasn't an intriguing story. It was not fun. It was okay. You already knew that Cody was gonna win.
Yeah.
The only one, and they did that for a couple of months. They extended it as much as possible till they finally gave Solo the opportunity, and like Solo was finally getting into his groove. I think that's the only storyline that mattered the most. We were pretty much just stalling for time the whole time so the bloodline could come back. And then Roman Reigns comes back, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, everyone loves Roman Reigns." But then that's their rivalry, and then Cody's like, "Now what?" And again, they had to find Kevin Owens. They'd be like, throw them together. It's just a random match. Doesn't matter at all, right? So we'll see
Like,
how it goes because now they're gonna face Solo again. But again, Roman's gonna get involved. I don't know. They need a
yeah.
rival.
I don't know if they're, and that's the problem. Like, who are the big heels on SmackDown right now? The Bloodline.
That's it.
That's about it, right? So like, you can run it back with Solo. You can maybe do a Jacob Fatu in there at some point, but I don't think Jacob's in that position to really be in that, to be there yet. Like, there aren't really a lot of foils for Cody Rhodes, and I don't think that's Cody's fault. But it's just that's what it is right now.
They're
Like,
waiting for
Roman
Randy,
Reigns,
maybe.
yeah, and like, the Randy Orton confrontation is gonna happen at some point, and I think they're waiting on it. At least with like when Roman was champion, like he had a lot of people that were like you didn't really expect them to beat Roman, but like the future still good with like his stuff with Kevin Owens.
LA
He did
Knight,
his stuff LA Knight
Logan
with
Paul.
Logan Paul, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, Edge. But there was just like that year where like Roman was just getting fed like legends. Like he fought like what Edge, and then after
Brock
he was done
Lesnar,
with
John
Edge,
Cena.
he got John Cena, and then after he was done with John Cena, he got Brock Lesnar, and like there were just like all these people who you didn't really expect to really make comeback or even work with. Oh, he got Goldberg too, right? Like all these people who you weren't really expecting to kind of be involved or kind of come back came back so they can have that match with Roman,
Mm.
and Cody Rhodes isn't really getting that. Like I would love to see John Cena come back and be like, yeah, you know what, I think it's time. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or yeah, like do your thing with Randy Orton, or like I don't know, Sting randomly sign a 1-day contract and let him have a match or something like that. I don't know, but like I just feel like there aren't a lot of compelling characters on SmackDown that make me want to be like,
I feel like it's all
I
on
need this.
Raw. So like Drew
Yeah.
is a heel. CM Punk could be a heel if he really wanted to.
Yes.
They're all on Raw. Seth
They're all
Rollins is
raw.
on
Yeah.
Raw. Seth could also
Yeah.
be a heel if he wanted to. Damian
Yeah.
Priest was a heel, but now
Yeah.
he's a face. Finn Balor is on the other side as well. You know what I mean? There's Bronson
Those.
Reed. There's
Yeah.
the guy you like, Karrion Cross. You know what I mean? There's a lot of heels on that side. The ones on
Yeah.
SmackDown, like um, Escobar, but he's like fighting for the mid card. He's a mid carder.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's how am I forgetting all these names? Who's fighting El Idolo? El Idolo could have turned heel as well. Mello,
Yeah.
Carmelo Hayes could have been in that spot and be like, "Oh, you're not ready, kid." You know what I mean? They could have these
Yeah.
many things and like promote the future, but it's not happening either. He's still like mid card, right? So, Braun Breaker's on the other side.
Yeah. That would have been.
Gunther was on the other side. These rivalries would
Yeah.
have been sick. Heels versus Cody Rhodes, but here we are. Or Bobby Lashley could have helped a lot too, but he left as
Bobby
well.
Lashley would have been. Bobby Lashley would have been great. That was what I was hoping for. I was hoping for Bobby Lashley to kind of get involved in that whole situation, but he left. So, but yeah. So I don't know. I feel like there are there are gaps, and there just from like the heel department, there aren't a lot of like strong bad guys that will make me. And it's like seeing that it's just like, oh yeah, this Randy Orton heel turn's probably gonna happen. And like I don't know, I feel like Randy Orton's having a lot of fun too, but like we also know that like if Randy turns heel and faces Cody, like we're gonna eat because there's so much they can do with that. There's like there's so much like history. Randy Orton as a heel is just like he knows how to like get people to like really hate him and really despise him. Like Cody Rhodes could cry. Like oh yeah, like
So like again, I don't see Cody Rhodes run as bad. He's still getting like he's still mega over or whatever.
yeah.
But
To be fair, the matches have still been really good. Like even though like there aren't feuds that you're like oh like I'm looking forward to this. Like him versus AJ, I thought they had an incredible match. Him versus Kevin was great. Him versus Solo, I think did a lot better than a lot of people thought it was going to be.
yeah, yeah,
Um, One of my gripes is that I feel like the Crossroads finisher is very much like
it's
not
nerfed.
protected anymore.
Yeah, it's nerfed because
It's
he's doing
super nerfed.
threes for
He's
everybody
doing
now.
three for everybody now. It's like now if he hits a crossroads, it's like okay, well that's not gonna do it. Like it's not gonna do it.
Yeah,
And like I understand, like for the story of Roman, it made sense. It doesn't make sense for me to be using it for like every pay per view because now it's like at a point where it's like if he only does one crossroads and he wins, people are gonna be like, oh, that's it. It's kind of like when Seth Rollins was champion and it was just kind of like, oh, it's just a stomp. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, it's just a crossroads. Like you're expecting him to hit like 3 crossroads at this point, and it's like, oh, like they kind of need to do more to kind of make that move more devastating and more effective.
they should have
Or
protected him more.
give him the Tiger Driver 96 and just let him like
Kill
make
people.
people just kill people, bro. Like just Will Ospreay it.
But now moving forward, I think the storyline's gonna be Solo's gonna fight him in Bad Blood. They're gonna have a Hell in a Cell or something big. Roman's gonna interfere, and they're gonna be like, Roman and Cody are gonna be the mega powers. Are gonna be like, brother. You know what I mean? So they're gonna group up for I was gonna say for Survivor Series. Maybe they'll have like a tag team match. Jacob Fatu and Solo versus Roman and Cody, and then they all like implode, and then all these people attack them, and then that leads to Survivor Series. Probably Roman's gonna have Cody and the Usos versus the new Bloodline, right? So
Yeah, I was even thinking that they might run him and Kevin Owens back at Bad Blood and Kevin turns heel for that.
but then
So that
Solo's gonna talk with Cody this week though. They already promoted
oh,
it.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so never mind.
He said he's next. He said he's next
Kevin's
in
in the
line.
mud then. Kevin's in the mud then. Never mind.
Maybe they have a number one contendership and then like Roman spears him or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a one-off thing.
Well, like Roman was supposed to be on the premiere of SmackDown on USA Network, but he was taken off of that show, so I don't know when he's supposed to come back at this point, but I don't know. We will see.
Speaking about that, new season is going to be coming out for our fantasy draft. So if you guys didn't already know, we do a fantasy draft. These are the old rules. I'll play it right now real quick. So we always drafted a total of 6 wrestlers. I believe we're going to still be doing the same thing. 2 main event spots, 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown. We're going to have 1 mid-card spot, 1 woman spot, 1 woman/mid-card spot, and 1 tag team spot, and then 1 on the bench for each. So we can exchange them throughout the week. Our restrictions is that we can only have 2 champions drafted per team, 2 tag teams maximum per team, 4 main eventers maximum per team, and etc. We're going to be adding new rules coming moving forward. We'll be playing that when we make the graphics for it with little wild cards that we're going to play. That way we can intervene throughout the next couple of weeks, give the losers an incentive, something for them to keep pushing forward, making it a little bit more competitive. Of course, something like, let's say you're not allowed to use this wrestler this week, or you're losing a wrestler spot or whatever, right? You can store them up and affect each other throughout the week, just to make it a little bit more entertaining. I think our point system is going to be similar to pinfalls, is 5 points, submissions 10 points, and etc. As you guys can see, signatures, finishers, and then boosts for pay-per-view. The other major thing we're going to change is, instead of like, oh, week winner of this week 1 or week 2, then just have them as a point, we're going to be doing more so of a soccer/football ranking, where the winner of the week is going to receive 3 points, the second place is going to receive 1 point, and the third place of the week is going to receive 0 points. and that way we're just going to be tallying up points throughout the week, and it would be just, I guess, more competitive that way. Again, another incentive for second place, just making sure you're not last place, right? So, and again,
Yep.
last place will be receiving their wild card. It's going to be a randomizer, kind of like a spin the wheel. We're going to create a bunch of ideas, and that way the losers can try to come back and catch up throughout the week, because of course they have to nerf the champion. As you can see, I've won the first season of the fantasy draft for WWE. I've won the second season, of course, in dominant fashion, so they have to nerf me, of course. We will be winning the third one, don't get me wrong. Also, we'll be drafting our wrestlers. Me, Derek, and Matthew will be figuring that out. Again, I'm free every Wednesday this week. I'm hoping maybe we can start the draft next week. That way, the week after, we can finally start calculating points, and it'll lead to the next pay-per-view. We'll see what Matt is up to, and we'll figure it out there. But besides that, yeah, that's our plans for the fantasy draft. That's usually what we're playing now, and then we'd move on. But besides that, I think it's an hour and a half. I think we've talked all wrestling. Are you good with the podcast?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah.
Appreciate
I'm
everyone
gonna-
who stopped by, especially our new chatter. Let me get your name right. Cody Burris 678. Again, Joanna and my family from Colombia tuning in to watch, and everyone else here stopping and going. Appreciate you guys supporting us. Again, we're going to be more consistent here on EMFC now that we've returned from our holidays. We have our work schedule a little bit more straight. So again, we've been doing a lot of Call of Duty content. We're going to continue our Monster Jam content until next month with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero comes out, because I've been watching the trailers. I've been looking forward to it. Dragon Ball Daima also releases the same day it comes out. It's gonna be very excited. And again, Black Ops 6 comes out next month as well. So a lot of content coming your way. We still have every Wednesday Wrestle Chat Wednesday. And yeah, I guess that would be it for us here. Derek, anything else to say before I raid?
No, not at all. Can't wait for Dragon Ball Z Spark Zero. I will be playing that. I have booked off the weekend. For one, because one of my close friends who has been in the podcast before, she's coming out from Virginia to come visit us, so we
Ooh,
will
that's cool.
be hanging out with her for the entire weekend. But I told her that like the day that she arrives, she's just gonna be sitting at our buddy's apartment watching me and my friend play Sparkly Zero all day. So,
Because that's definitely
yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like the original plan was that we are just gonna be playing it, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm coming in that day." We're like, "Okay."
But we're
So
still
you'll be
playing
seeing
that day.
us. Yeah, like you'll be seeing us Saturday, I guess. But then we had to change plans, so we're picking her up from the airport, but she's gonna be watching us play Sparkly Zero for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
crack. I'm not playing FIFA this year. Sports games are fun, but this time we're gonna push away a little bit. I've been playing a little bit Fortnite now that the Marvel stuff has come out. Again, a fighting game in Sparking Zero, a shooting game in Black Ops 6. They're gonna already be occupied with those games, and then a monster truck racing game already for this upcoming month. So we're gonna have a lot of content moving forward. We're gonna keep busy. I'm excited. Till then, Wrestle Chat Wednesday next week. We'll see you guys there. Hopefully we get our stuff together. Matt will hopefully come back. Us trio will be here, and we can figure out our fantasy draft. Till then, your boy Eric from UFC.
Your boy from what's my name again? Derek from the EMFC.
And we'll see you guys next week. Let's go check out Ayo Papito. He's streaming some League of Legends. Let's see how he's been. It's been a while since I talked to him. Till then, see you guys next week. Later.
Later.
Oh my god, Ayo Papito. Then we're like, give us a raid. That was fun. I'm glad a lot of people came and tuned in. I know Seba and all of them are going to be hella tuned in next week now that they finally have Canadian Wi-Fi and not stealing from my aunt. They're gonna be having a great time. I'm so hungry. Oh, my bad. Forgot. Back over here. Can't wait to stop cooking. I let my mom cook. It's gonna be great. I'll help her out now that I got used to it. I always cook like on the weekends whenever I'm with Helena, but it's usually breakfast because I work with Tim, so I know a lot about breakfast.
Yeah.
This time was more so learning more about lunch and dinner and figure everything out. But you know, Man's figured it out. Actually, I think he was eating a lot more healthier. I was eating veggies and